Three friends, one amazing series of YA novels, an insatiable thirst to relive the glory that is K.A. Applegate's literary masterpiece. This is Animorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles.
Hello and welcome to the Dork-Bajir Chronicles, a podcast where we read through the Animorphs series one book at a time, in this case one TV episode at a time, then talk about it every week. Today we'll be talking about Animorphs TV series book, or rather episode number 13, The Forgotten. My name is Mikhail, the host.
I'm Tessa, the expert.
And I'm Braden, the potent vitae.
What is that?
We are once again joined by Jarred of the Two Nerds in a Basement podcast. I will get that right one day. Hi, Jarred.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, dude.
What is up?
Just chilling, watching some Animorphs, doing like I do.
For our fan mail segment this week,
Fan mail! Ooh, yeah! Fan mail! Ooh, yeah!
we have a few things. These are actually not really specific things, but they're just things that I wanted to get out into the podverse. I had posted some posts. That was an awful way of saying that. I had made some posts on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram about what people thought of the TV show, especially since we were jumping into some episodes. So I'm not going to say anything specific since opinions are pretty unanimous. I just wanted to give a shout out to a bunch of people. On Twitter, there's the Slan, Writing Callus, Evan717, Morali99395, Movie Polls, Maximili Istil, good name, R3 Shorts, and pretty much anyone else. On Facebook, there's James, Ricardo, Heather, Josh, Matthew, Leanne, Steve, Ray, Eric, and frankly, a lot of other people. One other thing I wanted to mention is that I actually also asked if people preferred having our TV episodes spattered throughout our podcast run. So, for example, the way we're doing it now, where we have 4 episodes in a row, and then we're back to the books, and then later on we'll do another 4 episodes in a row, or if they'd prefer to have it all in one chunk at the end. It was pretty unanimously, the answer was spattered throughout, so we're going to keep doing that. If you were one of the people that voted to have them all at the end, Braden's address... No, I'm just kidding. That's not funny. That's horrible.
Got him.
But anyways, we have to go with the people. So I apologize to anyone who wanted it all at the end. Mind you, you can always go to YouTube and watch/listen to our episodes there, where everything is sorted. So you can go to playlists that are just the book episodes or just the TV episodes or whatever, but the playlists exclude different things in different ways. So if that's your jam, go for it.
If and only if.
But not if you're wavering about it and not sure, stay away from the YouTube.
Stay away. We do not need your uncertainty tainting our majesty.
If that's it, Two Nerds in a Basement will take your uncertainty. I'm fine with that.
Throw it all over on the other podcasts on the network, but none for us.
So this episode, Animorphs, or episode 13, The Forgotten, was directed by our old friend William Fruitt, the veteran Animorphs director.
Love that Pruitt.
It was written by Scott Peters, and it was released December 1st, 1998. This summary will be by... it's Braden's turn, I think.
Yes, it is. So, we start off. Rachel is walking down a dirt road saying she's gonna meet a bus. You know, like kids did back in the 90s.
Yeah.
She does say it's for camp. She doesn't say it's just 'cause. It is a camp. And that's when I knew that this episode was inspired by Megamorphs 1.
Yeah, same. But I said it was for camp. I didn't say it was for nothing.
No, you just said she was gonna meet a bus.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways.
We're already off the rails.
We're really into this bus.
It's also kind of weird. It's like in the woods. I think that's the real point.
That's the weirdest bit, yeah.
Anyways.
She morphs into an eagle. She says she's going to meet Tobias. And then,
she morphs into a bird, actually. which is a point later that they seem to bring up for no reason. Anyways.
But it is very specifically a bald eagle, and then the close-up shots of the bird flying, it's the same shot of Tobias that we saw in last week's TV show episode.
Shh.
She morphs a Pidgey.
Nice.
And then she crashes.
And it never explains how. She just,
I think she's attacked by another bird? Did I see another bird in those?
I don't know if I saw
it was
one.
just cutting from between different shots of her flying.
She just all of a sudden forgets how to fly.
She's like, oh fuck, I'm a human. How do I drive this thing?
Yeah, it makes literally no sense, and it's not even explained in the narration at all.
No, because the whole narration is just, whoa, oh god, oh no, where's Tobias? And boom, boom, she's crashed.
And then she's like, demorph. Gotta demorph. And then we go into the music.
And then she has demorphed, partly, but as she wakes up, she looks at her arm and says, oh no, I have amnesia. I don't know what's going on. I have amnesia. As her bird arm morphs to a human arm.
She never says she has amnesia, though.
I feel like it's pretty clear, though. Like, that's what they're trying to say.
I know. I'm joking that it's, like, really obvious that they're not subtle about it.
I'm just saying that Jared got confused and didn't know she had amnesia until later in the episode. It was like, bitch, why don't you morph? And
I just thought she was, like, being dumb.
That is
That's
super
why they call
funny.
the episode The Forgotten, is because she don't know.
I don't pay attention to the episode titles.
So she runs away into the woods, and Tobias is out looking for her and finds her bag and is like, uh-oh, Rachel without a bag, she's probably being tortured. She's been kidnapped.
It's the only explanation, yeah.
And the best case scenario is that she was taken by the Yerks. Otherwise, we're getting into some really uncomfortable territory involving real-world kidnappings.
Oof.
Also, I don't think I've ever talked about it on the podcast, but I just want to go back quick to book 2, where Rachel is being catcalled by some creep in a truck, and she partially morphs to scare him away when he follows her like around a corner. But then Jake is like, Rachel, you shouldn't have done that. He might have been a controller just pretending to be a human still. And it made me think, like, do controllers go that fucking hard? When they, like, go into a human and it's like, oh, shit, this guy molests girls in alleys. I guess I gotta keep up that habit. Like, is that something that they go with?
Maybe it's like acknowledging that for 13-year-olds in the 90s would have been like way too fucking real.
I mean, but they did, though. Like, they had a creep in a truck.
Acknowledging how real it would be for her to get actually in that situation is, I don't know. I'm trying to justify it somehow, but there's not a really good justification, honestly.
I think what really happened is that Jake wasn't even thinking that his cousin was gonna get raped. He was just like, oh no, this guy was being weird, but he could have been a controller. Cause
that's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's. Oh, that's the thing you didn't want to say. Oops.
Like no. I'm not saying I didn't want to say
that
it.
Hard R word.
Well, it's not rape. I'm saying like I don't know, because if he was like, good for you, because you might have been raped. It's like that's too real to acknowledge in a kids show. He needed to just believe that it was like he was just a creep that was going to try to kiss her.
And that's what we call male privilege.
But yeah, like I think that might actually be the truth. Like, I mean, Jake's only 12. He lives in a good neighborhood. He doesn't go to gymnastics in the downtown dark city and walk home alone. He might have never been catcalled by a creep in a truck. Like this is not Rachel's first time being catcalled.
Book Jake might never have been catcalled, but TV show Jake is played by the handsomest man ever. So, like, there's no chance that TV show Jake has not been yelled at. Just, hey there, sexy, from a truck.
At Sean Ashmore calling you out there, bud. Whew.
Yeah.
Slide into those DMs, like. So anyway, the kids are playing baseball and Tobias goes to tell them that Rachel is missing.
Yeah, and they're like, are you sure? Yes, I found her bag. Okay,
We
cool.
had an appointment.
We had an appointment. Do you have a watch?
I also love that, like, when Tobias was flying around looking for Rachel for the first time, he's like, Rachel, we said 10 o'clock. Like, do you have something else to do today?
Tobias has bird.
I have urgent bird business at noon.
Yeah. I'm meeting my accountant
Oh
at
my God.
10:30.
I just remembered. Tobias had a clock. Didn't he used to have like a
Yeah.
hawk watch that they
Yeah, he
rigged up
did.
for him?
He
And
totally
they
did.
just forgot about that?
Wait,
I
is this
think
in the books or the show?
That was just the one episode. In the books, for sure, they put a watch on it, but I think that was just the one episode where they were looking for Axe. That they put a watch on him so he could keep track of time and let them know.
Yeah.
I think it was also just like, it makes sense why they would not want him to wear that all the time.
Yeah. We're going way too far back. Let's just okay. Rachel gets into a cabin where she's like, oh, some fucking food. Hell yeah. Starts
Just
looking at
eats the
weird
granola.
jars and posters. And this entire, everything in this cabin is now shot like a fucking horror movie. Like
It's straight creepy.
like the girl from Sleepaway Camp is gonna come around the corner. Yeah! And shove off her head.
The best part is the footage is so pixelated. She looks at something on the shelf in this jar, and I
Yeah,
had
and it's
no
like-
idea what she was looking at, but she has a flashback memory of being like in a pool of water and surfacing. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, am I the other person who didn't recognize that flashback at all?
Yeah.
That
No,
was
I
from-
did.
Did you?
I
Sorry.
did recognize it. That was from when they went underground and like Marco threw Skunk Cassie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was when
Oh.
everybody was leaping back and forth with their
Right,
flashlights.
Right, that was it. Okay.
The reason why it made no sense, Jared, is because she was flashing back to feeling what Yerks were like, and because she had seen a Yerk in a jar in present day. However, the flashback did not show a single
And a
Yerk.
single other-
No, it was just
Yes.
At all.
It could have been her swimming at any given moment.
Or
Yeah, it
even
literally
just the
could've.
fucking 10,000 scenes she's seen of somebody getting a Yerk in their ear. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Flashback to the
Fuck.
nightmare from the episode before about your dad getting yerked with tweezers.
or even in real life where they killed that Yerk that was in Jake's head.
Yeah.
But, okay, so an old lady just, like, rushes into this cabin and somehow bull rushes a very fit, like, young woman into the next room and is like, oh, Yerk, oh, fuck you, oh, fuck. So, like a South Park character, and locks her in. And this is the point that in the book, this old lady knocks out Rachel and then tries to burn the place down.
Yeah.
But in this one, she just like sits in a corner and is like, okay, we're gonna do this forever now.
She's like, I know you're a yerk. You won't put it back in my head.
Like,
She
oh, you ain't
picks
gonna
up-
get me, you fucking yerk. Come on.
She picks up the jar and like shows it to her again, and that's when I see that it's like a slug encased in goop, and I was like, oh, that's what was in the jar. 'Cause
Yeah.
I literally could not see it before.
And then suddenly Rachel remembers the name just out of nowhere. Just, hey, old lady who's holding me captive, do you know what the sharing is? And the old lady is like, yeah. And Rachel's like, okay, I'll remember that later.
Yeah.
And then as her friends are searching through the woods for her and just like wisecracking, Rachel starts pulling down some posters. And the old lady is like, no, not my posters.
And
Because the old
they're
lady is
fucking-
like, that's my research into your sharing in the woods. And there's all these little like hand-drawn cabins on this map.
Also, she said her name was Franny, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, because she holds up the yerk and she's like, this is the one that used to be in old Franny's head. It's like, oh, God.
I guess we don't necessarily know that she is old Franny.
Oh,
That's even more fucked up.
Yeah.
Did she take a yerk out of someone's fucking head?
killed someone
And cracked
cut
open their skull.
head and peeled off the yerk. Oh, and at one point Rachel's like, Andalite, does that mean anything to you? And the lady's like, fuck no. And she's like, morphing. What is morphing? And the old lady's like, Kate, now you're creeping me out.
And she was also like just watching Rachel be captive while sitting like in the weirdest fucking
This
position.
weird little curled up position.
And it looked like she was like, it looked like at any moment Cassie or like Rachel was just gonna be like, does morphing mean anything? She's like, I'm trying to take a shit.
Yeah, she's like,
Shut up,
squat.
you dumb cunt.
She seems like she would swear more, hey, than the show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every other word from her would be cunt.
To the point where it just loses all meaning.
Shut up, you skinny little cunt.
Fuck.
So
I'm
Rachel
gonna
takes
eat your
this poster with the cabins
goddamn
on it.
toes, you skinny fucking bitch.
Rachel takes this poster with the cabins on it and then just like punches a hole through the cabin.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
it's
just, like,
so
elbows her way
shittily
out of
made.
board. And it's like, I guess why does this old lady, why did she even bother? What the fuck?
She's crazy old Franny, man.
Well, her fucking
I'm old
whole
Franny.
cabinet. Her whole cabin is made of like quarter-inch balsa wood.
Yeah, it absolutely is. She
If
would
somebody
let that
were to hit it
be
with a
built.
pebble, the whole thing would fall apart.
It's like the least sturdy fucking structure I've ever seen.
She had some like 6th graders make it for her in shop class and carried it out into the woods.
It's you ever see like a really old IKEA bookshelf?
Hey kid, I'll blow you if you give me some wood.
Okay.
You ever used a hammer and nail?
Fuck.
Anyways, Brayden, what were you saying? There's so much more of this episode.
Well,
to go.
I was talking about how this old lady offered children oral sex for scrap wood. But then Rachel's friends come by the cabin like right after and run to this lady, and she's like, "Whoa, you're Yerks too! Get in my cabin so I can lock you up." And they're like, "No, sorry. I guess Rachel was here. Okay, bye." Rachel's down by the river. And what Mikhail has described as a handsome brown boy, strong of jaw and large of hand, swarthy of both palate and attitude, swaggers along and grasping her gently yet firmly by the shoulder, says. And there's a little in italics in the swarthiest, sexiest, most fucking accent ever. How may I help you, sexy blonde American woman? He seems nice.
I did write. He seems nice.
I have an uncontrollable erection.
Rachel tells him, lady erection dripping off her voice.
Ugh,
She is looking for
wow.
ew. Ew. I think you've removed arousal from my brain entirely.
That's
She
the real
tells
L
him
word.
that she's a member. He tells her to come with him to the camp where there's a med student where they can make the love.
Okay. It's French, so it's romantic.
I also like
I
that
did
he
not hear
says.
an accent.
I also like that he says there's a med student. Not there's a doctor. Not there's a med
Yeah.
student.
They're all kids at this
Just
camp.
hanging out in the woods.
Yeah.
They showed up to
Maybe
this camp,
this is
and
the
he was
camp
already
Rachel
out
was
there.
going to. This is where the bus was going to take her in the woods. Was this sharing camp?
Okay. They're at the camp. Tobias finds her, but she doesn't understand like thought speak, so she just thinks she's hearing voices. Yeah. So the Yerks try to like study her, and Tobias
They do a
finds her.
scan on her head and be like, "Oh, there's no specimen."
Yeah, and Rachel says the word Yerk, so they freak out. The gang finds the camp and spies on it.
Oh, there is a conversation where Marco was like, "Okay, she was walking into a sharing camp. Maybe she's been playing for the other team this whole time." And Tobias
Yeah.
gets real sad and flies off in a huff.
That was
Yeah.
a kind of weird. Like, what does that mean? Like, they didn't capture you when you were under the fucking net? What? I don't know. That seemed like a very. Why is that happening? Who? Wrote
I
that?
think they wanted to show how protective Tobias gets of it, but it just came off being super unnecessary.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, I guess it's not an unreasonable thing to think at pretty much all times. Is like, oh fuck, what if one of my friends became a controller
True.
from the last time we saw them, right? Not that they go into that much detail, but I just thought like that is something that you'd have to think about fucking all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Anyways.
Okay, we're almost near the end. Rachel, the Yeerks know that she knows about Yeerks, so they try to Yeerk her quick.
With these really long tweezers again that she sees.
Yeah.
Just shove her face in a pool.
It's fucking weird. But everyone morphs into dangerous animals and openly attacks the camp. So they all run away. And this is a line I'd like to hold on to. Fizzer 3 will kill us! Not if we don't tell him.
Done. The smartest characters in the entire series.
No shit, I thought that
so
too. It was like,
good.
and nothing ever comes of it too, because like,
No, because they
it's
never
not
told
like
him.
not like Visser 3 comes in at the end. He's like, "What happened here?" The Andalites. Like he's,
Your Mr. Three Face.
they're just like, we just won't tell him. How is this hard? Don't tell him.
Like, we didn't really lose anything. Yeah, like, there's no damage done. Like, why don't we just not tell him? This is fucking neat.
I also like when he was gonna put the Yeerk in her ear. He's just like, look at the end of the tent. What's that over there? Squish.
Yeah, he has this giant slug on a pair of tongs that everyone seems to own when they're a controller.
And then she like moves her hair
It's in
behind
the
her
gift
ear, real obviously.
Yeah, he's like, let me check your vision by moving your hair out of the way of your face. Like,
It's actually, she's into it. She sees this slug coming and she's like, I mean, yeah, he's cute. Let's do this.
Gross.
But anyway, we wrap up. They convince Rachel that she's Rachel and that she can morph, and then she goes to school, and then she tells her dad, that's not this episode. I got mixed up. Rachel goes to this gymnastics thing. She teaches kids gymnastics, and then the lady's just watching them from the woods.
No, she's just hanging out in the park.
She's just hanging out with her. It cuts to, like, they tell her, just morph a lion. Try and believe us. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll give it a try.
That's what I said.
She
They
morphs
convince
partly
her.
a lion, and then it cuts to Rachel and the Animorphs hanging out, and Rachel says, it took 2 days, but now I remembered everything. And
Done.
Rachel is teaching Marco how to do a handspring.
And then Marco falls flat on his face in, like, brilliant physical comedy style.
Can I bring up the great thing you said during the episode, though? We're watching it, and Rachel is turning into the lion, and Jarred all of a sudden has this moment and goes like, wait a second. Rachel's morphing a male lion. And I'm like, yeah? And he just seems really confused by it. Like, why?
I don't know.
gender's a spectrum, Jared.
That's the...
You ignorant
And also,
fuck.
that's the DNA that she acquired was a male lion. And he was like, oh, okay. I thought she got the DNA of, like, a general lion.
A general.
I've had a long week, guys, okay?
Yeah.
I've had a long week.
He's
Get
like,
off my back.
wait, so does that mean she copied the lion?
Oh no, that's the whole premise, my dude.
Oh my god!
I had a long week, alright? I'm real tired. All the time.
How do you think Axe morphed Jake? It's a copy.
But it was just like a Ken doll down there.
It's been a long week.
It was so. And
That's
like,
all I have to say.
I was trying to ask him.
That's
like,
all I have to say
where
about
was
that.
your thought going? And he's like, I have no idea. I
don't
knew
know where
all of this.
I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it was going. I don't know. I'm running on fumes.
I think your Yeerk took control for a second.
My Yeerk is a fucking idiot.
It was just like, yo, wait.
Well,
This is the episode where Tobias is like, they yerked her. They're going to yerk her. And it's like
Yeah.
actually pretty satisfying
No,
to
they
hear
did.
that
They
used.
didn't Yeerk her.
They didn't Yeerk her yet. Oh, there's also this great scene when Tobias leads them to Rachel's backpack. Jake morphs the dog. They're sniffing around and they're like, no, the Rachel scent is gone. And they're like, okay, well, the only way that could have happened is if she morphed a bird, but we know that Rachel hasn't morphed a bird yet. And Cassie's like, no, she did get a bird morph. And Tobias really seriously is like, she comes to meet me sometimes. She has a bird morph. Trust me.
The only thing missing was like an over-exaggerated wink. Like, oh, trust me, she can turn into a bird.
It's a female bird. Believe me.
Oh.
Also, what if Tobias like acquired a female hawk?
I was just gonna say that. We don't know.
Although he does like get a boner for that female hawk in book 3.
In book 3, yeah. So I think he morphed a boy hawk. But we do know that Rachel's eagle morph is a boy eagle as well. We learned that in book 32.
Did you guys like that scene at the beginning where, or near the beginning, where Jake, or Cassie and Jake are like, she's like, they're like playing baseball, or like apparently Jake is teaching her how to play baseball.
I know.
Despite like him having really not ever said that he likes baseball. She's like, do I need to choke up on the bat some more? And Marco's in the background, and you could just tell the writers were like, pen paused over the paper, like in square brackets, like choke joke, like question mark.
Fuck. And okay, yeah, like you said, he never said that he liked baseball. Teaching her like a basketball move or something, because they do that. They do that like 4 times in the beginning.
He talks about basketball all the time.
Yeah. Mostly he talks about how good his brother is at basketball, which I always thought was a little fucking weird. But remember how good you were, Tom? And he's like, "Cool, I don't play basketball. I'm all about yerking now."
Also, I'm glad that they show very Tom-esque how like all the controllers at the camp scratch their ears. They're like,
oh God, yeah,
all the
we're
fucking
definitely controllers.
I mean,
definitely controllers.
That's how Axe found out, like, knew for sure that Jake was a controller when Jake scratched his ear and was just like, I think they're just poking the slug back into the place. That's my new headcanon, is that, like, poke the rest of the slug back in there.
They gotta wake up every 20 minutes to push their slug back in the middle of the night.
It just oozes out when they relax. Ew.
Gross.
I have that issue.
I wonder if it just leak out.
I just want more Visser 3. They just have a cutaway shot of Visser 3 angrily staring at a cracker for every episode of the TV show.
Yeah. That's not the same cracker every time. It's like
different. Like first it's saltines, and then then it's a Ritz, and then he does one of those toppables ones. Then it's a Triscuit, and that really fucks him up because the crumbs go everywhere.
And then he has a stoned wheat thin and is like, okay, maybe this place ain't so bad.
Maybe it's like a fucking potato chip one time, and he's like, no, and he throws it away.
But then he has a baked potato chip, and it's totally different.
Ugh, you guys had those baked Ritz. Holy shit.
They're so bad.
I didn't know those were a thing.
I don't like them. I had like a couple times.
It.
They're like,
I'm not a fan at all.
This is now a Crackers podcast. we just talk about how much we like crackers.
I am always going to be a big fan of the traditional saltine.
Same here.
That is the worst cracker. Stoned wheat is the way to go. It's so dense.
Stoned wheat is my top, but then saltine is definitely my second.
If I'm going to just eat a plain cracker, I'm going to go hard on some Ritz. Or even just like, as a kid, we would just like, Mom would buy a box of crackers, and there's 4 kids in my family, and each of us would just pull out a sleeve and eat that while reading books.
Oh my God.
That was our
Sometimes
snack.
I feel, you tell me stories that I'm just like, I would love to go back in time and like just get some CPS action going at your house.
Well, okay,
some of the
another
shit you
favorite
told
snack was like a literal hunk of cheese about half the size of your palm that you would eat over the course of an hour while sitting on the heat register reading a book.
You told me about this the other day, and I was like, that's both very endearing and very sad all at the same time.
Why is it sad? Cheese is delicious.
That's true.
Anyways, saltines are terrible. I think that's unanimous.
You're wrong.
Yeah, no, the saltines are like the crackers you get for free at a buffet.
Nah.
Twitter poll.
Yeah, right.
Here's a cracker fact. Did you know you can make apple pie using no apples and only Ritz crackers?
Yeah, right. It's literally just a box of Ritz.
No, it's like, I'm serious.
Seriously,
I read
look
this.
up mock apple pie.
It's a fake apple pie. You use Ritz crackers, you soak them a little bit, you put like this like sugar and cinnamon on there, and then when you eat it, you think it's apple pie.
Here's a cracker fact. Did you know that when you're filing your taxes, you can just mail in a Ziploc bag full of Ritz crumbs, and they'll just give you your tax return. No problem. Here's a cracker fact. Did you know that if you shove crackers up your asshole instead of eating them, they'll come out your mouth full crackers? Here's a cracker fact. Did you know that if you line your house with fucking stoned wheat crackers, it's actually cheaper and works better than regular fiberglass insulation?
I got one.
Here's a cracker fact.
I got a cracker fact.
I love the kills just stream of conscious. Here's a cracker fact. Okay.
We've been talking about crackers for 6 minutes.
Good. Fucking good. You're welcome, audience. It's needed.
You're welcome, internet.
Okay,
We got to corner the market on cracker-related podcasts.
And it'll be called Cracker Facts.
there is a parody book series of Animorphs called Vegemorphs, where they morph vegetables. I've never read them, but I've seen them. Maybe in one of the later books, they also morph crackers.
Is that like a Transformers Beasties kind of thing?
No, I think it was made by the people who write like Mad magazine.
What if there was a Cracker Morphs, but it was actually set in like the mid 1800s, and it was actually super dark, and it was not the crackers you're thinking of?
Jesus Christ!
Here's a cracker fact: slavery has been abolished for over 100 years.
Has it
Yeah.
though?
I think
mean,
so.
Not worldwide.
Not at Brayden's house.
There you go.
Anyways, here's my slave.
Your slave is named Cracker. Oh man, you guys, when we get to the Animorphs book where the slaves get in, it's really great.
Oh my god! If each Animorph was a cracker, what cracker would they be?
Okay.
Jake is a saltine.
No, fuck off. What? Cassie is a saltine.
Axe is an everything
Okay.
potato chip.
Okay. Marco is a Ritz, though, right? We can all agree on that.
Sorry,
All dressed and
I meant
everything
to
are
say
totally
all
different
dressed.
things.
All dressed,
All
yeah.
dressed is basically
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, so Axe is an all dressed potato chip because that's like a lot of different flavors, and he's absorbed from all of the different Animorphs.
I thought you meant like he's an all-dressed potato chip because he's not a cracker. He's a potato chip.
But also, he's
That's
not
true.
a cracker because he's not
Wait,
human.
no, he's more like a crisper.
Yeah, yeah, where it's just not quite right.
Ooh,
Something just
I don't know
wrong
what
with
crispers are.
Tobias is one of those baked Ritz crackers. He used to be a cracker, and now he's not. He's something worse.
I think Jake is stoned wheat because he's hard and he's a pillar of the group.
What's a fun one for Marco? Is that Ritz?
Maybe it's a Ritz, those cheesy Ritz sandwiches.
Or
The
maybe
peanut butter
he's,
sandwich.
Maybe he's one of the flavored Triscuits.
Ooh.
Okay, you know what? I think Rachel is
Stupid
Melba
fucking
toast
conversation.
because if you break a Melba toast, you can make a shiv,
That's true.
and that's why Melba toast is banned in most prisons.
All right, I also getting back to Animorphs. Rachel is wandering through the woods, clearly disoriented, and she is somehow totally okay with a random stranger coming up, be like, "Yo, come with me, we'll fix you, I swear." Like,
I mean,
when you're
maybe she
when
has
you're
amnesia?
disoriented, like you don't really want to like follow anybody.
Maybe
You
she,
want to find something that like
Yeah.
she must have forgotten about stranger danger, though.
I
That must have
guess
been one of the things knocked out of her head.
because like. And he walks up, he's like, "Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. I was just creeping on you for the last 25 minutes.
Yeah, I
You
just
seem
suddenly
disoriented."
appear behind you. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. I'm just your friendly neighborhood creepo.
And then she's like, no, I bumped into you. I'm sorry. I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? Do you not know how, like, this shit works? I even turned to Tessa when we were watching it. I was like, if this wasn't a children's show, this would be a horrifying movie.
Like, if we suddenly snapped into Criminal Minds, this is the intro to the episode. Dun dun, and we never see Rachel again.
That is not the Criminal Minds noise. The Criminal Minds noise says,
Dom, 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 dom.
Yeah, exactly.
For some reason, the Goosebumps theme keeps coming into my head.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, that's X-Files, isn't it?
Is that X-Files?
No, that's Outer Limits.
Pew, 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 pew. No, that's Doctor Who.
Never seen an episode of Doctor Who in my life.
Really? There's a couple good ones out there.
The weird commune in the woods, I was really hoping that I knew it was going to be controllers, but I really wanted it to be like this weird religious sect.
Here's a new bit. Religion.
And like they're like, no, you can't take Rachel away now. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, did you guys see that Sean Ashmore interview where he was like, Sean Ashmore talks about his time on the Animorphs, and it came out like this year, like a month ago.
No, what the
A
fuck?
recent one? Okay, because I know
Yes.
he's talked about it before.
But the best
lot
part
in
is
the past.
it's like the guy interviewing him is like fucking like, oh god, I gotta find it. But he's so funny, but not on purpose. He's just like a nerd, and I don't know. After seeing a lot of like celebrity interviews, it was pretty refreshing. He just talks about the Animorphs and how like when they were filming it, because people go up to him and ask him like, what was it like working with animals, and all he says is like, it stinks.
Well,
Which I
because
thought was very funny.
I mean,
it's
yeah,
rough.
I get it.
Like, it takes 5 ever to do anything, because you got to get the animal in the perfect shot, and the animal doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do. And then you're working with these, like, big cats and wolves, and they're dangerous.
Okay, it is The Spin-Off is the name of the show. It's on YouTube. Oh, wait, sorry, it didn't come out recently. This came out 2 years ago. It's my bad. It just came to my attention recently.
More recent, I think, that he's ever really talked about Animorphs.
Other interviews I've seen from, like, 5 years ago and stuff.
Yeah. The best part is he has a long conversation with the host. He's like, oh, like, how come the humans never use thought speak with each other? And he's like, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know. I can't. Maybe they couldn't. And it was like, it was really obvious that he had never fucking even cracked open a single Animorph book, which is fine. He's an actor. He's not the writer or anything, but still.
All he had to do, as long as he read the script, he was fine for the day.
Memorize your lines.
Plus, let's
Iceman.
face it, if he did read the books, he'd probably be like, this is fucking garbage.
Why
Why am
are
I
we-
in this show?
Why aren't we doing the books?
He wasn't embarrassed about it either, which I was worried about, that he was going to be like, oh, it was so dumb. He talks about how it's like, it was a formative experience, gave him a lot of like experience and talking to actors and whatever. So it wasn't just like, hey, this is a piece of shit, don't remind me of it.
And
like,
I
actually
guess,
talked about it
I
seriously.
guess he could have gone like the myriad of Star Wars actors who were like, yeah, I don't want to talk about being on Star Wars because I hated it.
Yeah, they even talk about the intro credit scene where it's like they practice the like where you're looking another way and someone calls your name and then you look at the camera and you're like, oh, hi. It's pretty funny.
The smell, the fart acting.
I love smell the fart.
They do a shot of his monologue and I'm just like, oh god, don't remind me. And don't remind him of that. It's fucking terrible.
I want, and that's what the interview I want. Just somebody sits down with an iPad. It's like, I want you to watch how you act in this scene and tell me where it all went wrong.
And he's probably going to be like, the director just kept saying slower. Slower.
Slower.
And
Only
then
say
look over
one
here.
word and
And then look over
away.
here. And look over here. And look over here. And look over here.
Now show me your chest.
Hey, let's wrap
Get
up.
on this black
Yeah.
leather couch.
Next week in our, well, we'll be back on the books actually, so it'll be Animorphs number 27, The Weakness?
The Exposed. The Weakness is
Exposed.
number 37.
Sorry, The Exposed. So we'll be talking about that book, and then we'll be talking about, after that, the week after that, we'll be talking about the morphs from that book, like normal. And then the following week, we'll actually be doing some like halfway point wrap-up episodes, so keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, check out some Two Nerds. Jared, where can we find some Two Nerds in the Basement stuff?
You can find us at collectivelegacy.org under Two Nerds in the Basement there. iTunes, Google Play, anywhere you really find your podcast, you can find us on there. Feel free to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Two Nerds in the Basement across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And check it out. They're great. Especially the Catwoman episode, because I'm on it.
I don't know. Spider-Man 2002 was kind of the peak of the show. Everything after
I
that
was on an
stuff.
episode, but I don't think it's on the I don't think it's on.
Yeah,
the
there's a
podcast.
problem with the older ones there. I am working on getting it fixed as we speak.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
probably maybe shouldn't bring that one back because I very highly praised Max Landis, who is now in a sex pest scandal. So
Well, he's on the same list that you are, Braden, so.
But you also have a really good joke about nuclear war and children.
Oh, yeah, right.
And it's really funny.
Tessa, where can you find more of our stuff?
You can also find our stuff on collectivelegacy.org. Check out Two Nerds in a Basement, and then why not click on that crazy show called Phantomorphs? I don't know. Give it a listen. You might like it. If you like this show, you'll like Phantomorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles.
Yeah. If you've enjoyed this show, consider trying out Phantomorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles.
you know, I heard this other podcast. It's called Phantomorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles. It stinks, and everyone on it is a fucker.
Lol, what?
But if you wanted to, you could go ahead and subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are distributed to our very good show. Or I'm going to come and I'm going to make you listen to Phantomorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles.
That horrible show.
Over and over and over.
But if you did want to support that show financially, you can show your support for them at their Patreon page, patreon.com/Dork-Bajir, DORKBAJIR. I'll spell it for you.
We offer special bonuses for patrons, like access to our Discord server, Animorphs essays written by us, and pictures of my penis.
Oh, that is not true. But I will DM
Yet.
those to you if you ask.
Yes.
On a higher tier. But at one of our tiers is a Dork-Bajir level or higher, and you give us some money and we'll froth like the capitalist pigs that we are. We'll give you a shout out at the end of every one of our episodes. We're sorry. Can we just say, like, you don't feel obligated to give us money? Obviously, we don't deserve it. Because of all
This
the
isn't for
cracker
us.
thing
It's
we
for
talked
another
about.
shitty show called Animorphs, the
That's
Dork-Bajir
true.
Chronicles.
Just
Never
some
mind.
piece of shit show
I hate them.
called Animorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles.
It's terrible. But
Anyways, here's some
for
of their
some
patron
of
names.
Our
Yeah.
fans, we give a shout out at the end of the episode, and we put a little stanky twist on it and give them a little Animorphs tagline.
So there's a big shout out to Shanna the fan of a terrible podcast.
And Yanka, the sickness.
Spencer, the pain.
Greg De La Posta, the shadow.
Steam driven, the boyfriend.
Andrew Vila, the hand drawn.
For the Fanimorphs, my name is Mikhail, the host.
I'm Tessa the expert.
And I'm Braden, Ashton Kutcher's dead brother.
Oh, fuck, okay. And this has been not Fanimorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles, because they just fucking suck.
Oh, wow, Ashton Kutcher actually has a brother. Michael Kutcher. He is alive and well.
Are you tired of sitting in silence, staring at walls?
Do your ears yearn for something more than the sound of your life passing you by?
Try Inadmissible, a podcast designed by a leading team of experts in the field of excitementology and non-boringness.
On Inadmissible, you'll hear Quinn and Mikhail, two of our bleeding-edge analysts, break down and rebuild the worst ads you've ever had the misfortune to experience.
Listen in as they tear apart lackluster emotional tactics.
Gather round as they explain why you shouldn't make your product look like a steaming pile of garbage.
Poop jokes.
All this and more on Inadmissible, a podcast about terrible advertising. For more details, visit collectivelegacy.org.
Inadmissible should not be consumed if you are easily offended or your tolerance for immaturity is lower than that of a 6-year-old child. Inadmissible may cause fits of laughter so intense your lungs may suffer from burst blood vessels. Consult your doctor before listening to Inadmissible.
Inadmissible, a podcast about terrible ads. Brought to you by
Collective Legacy.
a podcast network.
Hi, hello, welcome to the ad for the show. I'm Mitch, the host of Whack Talk Radio. On this show, I talk to interesting people about interesting things. Do you need to know more than that? Okay, fine. Pretty much we'll talk about whatever my guest is interested in or passionate for. Sometimes it'll be silly, sometimes serious, sometimes a bit of both. Whatever the topic is, hopefully we'll find a way to make you that much more of an expert about it. You can find us at collectivelegacy.org, along with some other equally awesome shows on our network. New episodes of Whack Talk Radio are every Sunday and Thursday, wherever you find your podcasts. Let us know what you think on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Whack Talk Radio. That's WENGH Talk Radio.
Whack Talk Radio.